can we and how can you support those who served in uniform on Veterans Day, and frankly on every day? That's the subject of our closing angle. Remember when General Kelly said this a few weeks back?
Most of you, as Americans, don't know them. Many of you don't know anyone who knows any one of them. But they are the very best this country produces.
He's right, of course. Yeah, I know veterans, and most are too proud to ask for help, or they're too independent and successful to need it. On Veterans Day, I think of my father, who died on his 88th birthday back in 2013. There he is. He served in the Navy in World War II at age 17. I think we serve veterans by supporting groups that actually get help to the vets who need it. There are a lot of great groups out there. The Wounded Warrior Project, Homes for Our Troops, and Liberty USO, just to name a few. There are a lot of them. And I think we serve veterans by remembering their stories and telling their stories to our children. We serve them by teaching our kids real history, the true history of our battles fought and lost, not a sanitized version that gels with the politically correct mores of the day. Our heroes aren't found at the Oscars or the Grammy Awards. They're found in ceremonies for Medal of Honor recipients, like the one last month for Vietnam vet Captain Gary Michael Rose.
After 4 days of constant engagement with the enemy, and after successfully destroying an enemy base camp, Mike's unit prepared to evacuate. When the helicopters arrived, Mike fought back the enemy as his fellow soldiers boarded the aircraft. He boarded the last chopper, limping up to the craft, while still warding off the enemy forces that were fast approaching.
Back in January 1989, Ronald Reagan reminded us of the importance of teaching history in his farewell address.
An informed patriotism is what we want. And are we doing a good enough job teaching our children what America is and what she represents in the long history of the world? Those of us who are over 35 or so years of age grew up in a different America. We were taught very directly what it means to be an American. And we absorbed almost in the air a love of country and an appreciation of its institutions. If you didn't get these things from your family, you got them from the neighborhood, from the father down the street who fought in Korea, or the family who lost someone at Anzio. Or you could get a sense of patriotism from school. And if all else failed, you could get a sense of patriotism from the popular culture. The movies celebrated democratic values and implicitly reinforced the idea that America was special. TV was like that too, through the mid-60s. We've got to teach history based not on what's in fashion, but what's important. Why the Pilgrims came here, who Jimmy Doolittle was, and what those 30 seconds over Tokyo meant. If we forget what we did, we won't know who we are. I'm warning of an eradication of the American memory that could result ultimately in an erosion of the American spirit. Let's start with some basics. More attention to American history and a greater emphasis on civic ritual.
I could watch that every day. It's just amazing. Those words are even more important today than they were almost 3 decades ago. Let's honor our veterans with respect and gratitude for what they sacrificed and support them for what they deserve and what they need. Happy Veterans Day to everyone out there who served.